Okay, it's the third day playing with epoxy for the stringers on the SunRay here. And so last night I got the puttying, the filleting done, and it worked out not too bad. I had to, the first try did not completely complete them. When I puttied them in place, I tried to fill it at the same time, but a lot of that oozed out and wasn't big enough, so I reapplied last night. It's really fresh and gummy. I want to show you how gummy it is. Oops, here we are. This is how gummy it is. It's like taffy. So that's the state right now of the fillets. So they're nice and gummy. They're going to receive cloth very well. So, okay, I found I not only had bought previously 6-inch tape, 6-inch wide by 25 yards. I also bought some 12-inch. The cloth, the tapes are finally, I've finished cutting them. These are for the stringers. And what you see here amounts to the contents of a 25-yard roll of 12-inch. And I use that to make the 12-inch pieces and some 8-inch pieces and more 12s. And also a 25-yard roll of 6-inch. I realized I didn't have enough, and I thought I'm going to have to cut more tapes out of whole cloth. And fortunately I found this, I think it's a 50-yard roll, so I've used another 12 to 14 yards of this 6-inch. So that's how much I'm using for the 3 stringers. I'm aiming for 3 layers on each. The lateral stringers, the outer edge, the hull is sloped, is 4 inches high, and then the stringer is 5-inch high on that side. So I just show I use a 6-inch, and I'm layering 3 6-inches and staggering them. And on this side, 3 6-inches, but I'm going to lay another 4-inch tape over the first layer of 6 just to extend it out in the hull, because there would not be enough overlap, 5 inches, and then it'd just go 1 inch. So I'm giving a little more overlap. And there'll be a 4-inch piece as a cap on top. And the floor is going to bond to that. So that's not the scale, it's just an expanded view to show the layers. I had to do this to keep it straight because I was getting it mixed up myself. This is for the center stringer, which is 8 inches high. And I'll be using a 12, and then an 8 with a light stagger, then a 6, and then the other 8 down the full length. That helps give the third. Actually, you see here there's 4 layers, but in some spots, but then the 12 is going to cap it. Of course, I'm just showing one side laid up. Okay, now I'm going to have to mix a lot of epoxy here to wet this out, so I'll be at this for several hours. Okay, I rarely do this, but there's almost 1.5 pounds of epoxy. The scale's acting up, giving me a different total reading, and I don't trust it, so this is garbage. I've got new batteries in the scale, plus a better, more stable base for it, piece of plywood. Now when you have this big a volume, you don't want to leave it sitting because it can generate internal heat and it can't reject it because there's not enough surface area there. So we want to get it spread out on the cloth. And once it's soaked into cloth and the cloth isn't piled in a heap somewhere, it'll stay, with this slow epoxy, it'll stay usable. You can lay it in half an hour, 45 minutes, you can still work it a little bit. And even 24 hours later, it's a little bit yummy, at least in these temperatures. It's not, isn't just fall weather here. Okay, day 4 on the stringers, and it should be a short day. The last day I'll be substantially done, and just some, or at least done the stringers anyhow. I'll have a little bit of tabbing and some other things, and then preparation for the floor. So yesterday I was tired. It was day 3 and had some late nights, and so I'll just say things didn't go so well, but I'll let you know. One thing that happened was, let me get this cloth ready. We're going to finish the center stringer today. I got the capping on the top of the 3 stringers, so I can go in now and slide around on a piece of cardboard and on a piece of plywood and get at the center stringer. I couldn't finish because you just can't work in there and everything's sticky. This is all that is going to be required to finish off this center stringer. There's actually one piece here that I think's excess. I might not need the 6-inch there. Anyhow, so that's what we have to wet out. That's going to be a fair bit. And I've got my plan here so that, oops, that's lateral stringers. Got my plan. I'm going to remember that, stick to it. I had something happen, and in the middle of mixing, I put that on as my riser. I put the bucket on like so, and I had a scale error in between filling it with resin and then hardener. So the whole batch was suspect. It was almost a kilo and a half. So I didn't know for sure if it was going to cure properly or not. I didn't want to risk it. So I dumped the batch. So let's just put that back. That's one problem I had. We're going to go in the boat and check something, because the other was a big error on that inside edge of that stringer. I may have made a mistake. I thought about it after everything was laid. I had a jug of resin. I had already finished laying it, and I came back and I said, there's my jug of resin. I remember I added 1,000 grams. Okay, and then I need 460, I putter around, I need 460 grams of hardener. And where's the hardener? It's over here. Why is it over there? Did I put it there after. Why is it? So at that point I thought, did I just add 460 grams more of resin to 1,000 grams of resin, in which case I would have had pure resin, and lay up a whole bunch of cloth. And so we're going to go check here. I've just uncovered the boat, the tarp. We're going to go check. And we'll just see how this stuff is cured. Because what I did the outside, I did the inside, and I did the outside, the inside, and then I put the cap on here. That's some 12-inch on the center stringer. So, dry. Ooh, a little tacky still. That's because I primed a little bit, so, and that hasn't dried totally. This is dry. This is dry. Yay. Okay, I checked it first thing when I got out here because that really concerned me. I just thought, oh no, that would have been hours of work. So that was something else that concerned me yesterday when I quit. Didn't give me a good taste. Okay, today's task, I should get right to it. I've got to mix up more hardener. I've got to find myself a cleaner bucket. These actually, they're still too tacky for me to peel that out and reuse that bucket. So I've got to find another bucket, something suitable for 1.5 kilos. In fact, it's going to be this one. Okay, so boom, I might not get 1.5 kilos, but I'll mix enough, and it'll probably take about at least 3 batches to wet that out there. So yeah, maybe 2 batches and then a small batch. I got a whole day yesterday out of the left hand of the dishwashing glove, but finally it tore. So now I've got one 9mm glove left over. I think it's 9mm. 12, I don't know. So after that, I have to go to a bunch of 5 or 7mm gloves that I've got. They're really single use and they tear while you're using them. Okay, into the boat. Okay, I'm going to do the center stringer. It's about 10.5 feet long. I've got 2 12-inch pieces and one of the 8-inch wide pieces, and that took almost 2 pounds of epoxy. So I'll start at this end that you can't see and I'll work my way, and that will be good. I've got a 2x6 to sit on here. Now that the caps on the stringers are dry, okay, that center stringer is done, and we'll let this sit. Maybe in a week or so I'll get back to this project, and I'll be doing some tabbing at the ends there. I'll be doing a rib across there that will define the splash well and be a support for the floor. I'm also going to put some braces up here back to the transom. That'll make an area for the battery there and the gas tank there, and it'll also beef up the transom. Up at the front, there's going to be some splicing. That splice, so I'll put some plywood braces on either side, bond it with a lot of filler, and then glass over the whole thing. And at that point, there'll be considerations for the floor. I'll have to buy some more epoxy, order that, and fit my floor. I'll use cardboard templates. Okay, that's it for now.